to speak about water harvesting in Chaseyama, Chimanimani District, Zimbabwe, and it's presented by Julious Piti, the director for PORET. Next. So here we are in Africa, and you can see from the blue arrow, that's where Zimbabwe is, and pointing at Chimanimani District. That is in Africa, and then Manicaland province in Mutare, that's our capital city here. That's where we are in Chimanimani District, and our capital city, of course, is Harare. Yeah, and the second one, Bulawayo. And now in region 5, that's where Chaseyama is found. It's quite hot. Now you can see, as it is region 5, it has got a soil which is very sandy and very much susceptible to erosion. And you can see from the picture, and we were moved there in 1996 to stay in Chaseyama, and as our homestead, we demonstrated a few things that made the PORET registered in 2006. And this is the semi-arid region where we are actually working on 3 wards in Chimanimani District on this very much hot agroecological regions. The average rainfall 300 to 400 millimeters, which sometimes fall just in one stop. And you can imagine how much erosions will really happen through that. With this very high temperature that we experience, this makes it very difficult to grow food. So you can see from the pictures. Now our story at PORET now in Chaseyama, there's lots of different kind of conflicts in the land management and also the erosions. And mostly smallholder farmers survive on subsistence farming on sand, poor, on unfertile soils that you have already seen. So we work in 24 villages under Chief Mutambara in the Chimanimani District. The reason for water harvesting is for domestic purpose, for cooking, bathing, drinking. We also do it for agricultural purposes, for crop animal production. We also do it for charging underground water table, so that the water table is raised to a certain level so that the springs and water sources will provide water to everybody. We also do it to reduce soil erosion, improve hydro cycle, so that the water cycle, when it is very efficient, then we can actually bring the rainfall patterns to be normal and predictable. So if we work together as a district country in the future, we will be able to affect the rainfall patterns in our country and probably in the Southern Africa. And then also to create this microclimate and that will support the microorganisms so that they can thrive well and do work for us on the soil. Increase the growing season for croppings, because once we have got lots of moisture on the ground, then we are able to really grow more and more crops, even like those water-loving crops. So we also recharge springs and wetlands. That will be actually like a resource in terms of energy and moisture. So, however, the principles of water harvesting, we have to go where the erosion starts and really manage from there. Once we are able to see the source, then we are able to manage the, because then we understand the catchment area where the water is coming from. So we should slow it down so that at least we slow it down so that it sinks. We spread the water so that once we spread it, it reduces its effort and then it gathers. It falls underground and goes into the sinks on the ground. So we should save the little water that you have. Of course, thin it down, store it, so that this water can be used for future and for a bit longer time. And also, access routes should not lead straight down slopes, but floor contour lines, roads, pathways, because usually in the community setups, the paths are usually created into gullies where a lot of water will be just eroding and they take lots of massive, also livestock creates lots of tracks that are unpredictable and very dangerous and destroy the environment. So factors to consider when designing your water harvesting system. You must know the purpose, why you want to do that. And you must understand your catchment area and the type of vegetation that you have so that they can sink. So different type of vegetation needs different types of design in order to really withhold the water. You also have to think of the gradient slope of the land that you are talking about. When the gradient is too slope, then it means you might need to have more structures or more contour lines that can block the water. The soil type is also very crucial because then sand loam soils can be easily eroded. It's lighter when it is raining. The annual rainfall, you should put it in your mind as well, because the more it is raining, probably the more the erosion could also, and also more structures you need to make those structures that can withhold these storms and actually sink the water down. You must think of storage facilities because there is no need to harvest water when you are not able to store it. You have to store it for future use and then period of utilization. Those are factors that once you understand these factors and they work with your purpose of a project, then you have got a big reason why you should do effective water harvesting systems that can actually be designed according to your initiatives to suit your own purpose on your landscape. Now, we see at PORET we have these natural gullies that has been formed on the map, but we do demonstrate this water harvesting on our learning center. The aim is to develop working water harvesting system that serves as a demonstration site for communities in the area. So you see some of these pictures are taken from the examples that we have already met. Our next slide. You can see people are digging with their hands, and now this other picture shows when the water has been accumulated in this kind of designs on these 20 hectares. It's a big design, really. So you can appreciate this is one of the swell, which the picture on your left-hand side is the swell without water, and the same swell with water now on the right hand. So when it is raining, you see water is being harvested that way, and the water is sinking underground to give moisture on the trees and plants below. Now this is how we construct the dams. We construct the dams by just putting the soil across the gully and then put some rocks. And we also use our land for neighbors' cattle to graze in, because the grazing of cattle can be actual water harvesting system at the same time using its hooves to reclaim the land. We use also A-frame apart from other complicated designs that you may think of. The A-frame is just two sticks that are tied with another third stick to measure lines of same height. And this is the cost that we do to train farmers so that they are able to make their own contours in their own fields. And then this is how the contour look like when it is done, okay? We also harvest water in different ways. We also harvest water from the roof. And this is the Faro tank, which is been built with just a little bit of fence and then puts cement. It consumes less cement and material to build, and then you can harvest water from your roof. So you can see now that for our community, 28 farmers in 9 villages in Ward 2 and have dug about 5,131 meters of swales, and 16 farmers in 6 villages in Ward 3 have dug 2,695 meters of swales, and 11 farmers in 3 villages in Ward 5 have dug 2,610 meters of swales. These swales can harvest a total of 3,128,850 liters of water. So this is an amazing water that we can harvest within one storm if it will be raining in our region. We thank you very much for listening to this one, because then water harvesting has something to do with agroecological designs that really get food on the table for everybody. And this is one set of design, which is water harvesting, that we can speak about to support farmers on the dryland. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you'll have enough time to discuss and chat.